Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to go over my build of my Santa Cruz Blur. Okay, in the past I did a review on the Giant Anthem 2.9er and the video was like 23 minutes long. So this time I decided just to break the videos up, and this video is just going to go over the build of this bike and also my thoughts of it. Like always, I like to build my own bikes, basically part them all together, and I did the same with the Blur. So yeah, so this is the Blur C, which is their basic carbon. They do have the CC, but I'm not bling enough for that, I guess. To start off with, I just have a basic SRAM GX Eagle setup there. You can see there I have a 1050 on the back and the GX rear derailleur. The front crank I have the Truvativ Stylo carbon, which is actually a GXP. It's not the dub right now. Then I love this bike. What I really like about it right there is the threaded bottom bracket. I wish everybody would do that. So coming to the front of the bike, you can see I have the Fox 32 step cast fork, which has the Kashima factory code on the stanchions there. Love that fork, super light. It is a little flexy though, so I'm looking forward to trying out the 34 step cast on the bike and maybe do a side-by-side comparison there. The wheels, same wheels I used actually on the Anthem build. They're just a DT Swiss 240 with some light bicycle rims. They are crazy light. I think they're like 1,250 grams, somewhere in there. So, and then the seat post is a Ritchey seat post, 0 setback, and my saddle is the Shimano Pro Stealth saddle, which is on all my bikes. And then the handlebars in the front is some Ritchey WCS Trail carbon bars, and I just have a 70mm giant generic stem I threw on there for now. The rear shock here, Fox DPS EVOL with extra volume on it. Has the lockout lever that goes to the front and rear. As you know, I love those. The brakes are some Level TLM. Now, as you can see on this side over here, I actually have a Guide R on there, master cylinder. What is pretty common with the SRAM Level TLM brakes and several others is the first generation, they had some issues with them, with the plunger expanding and getting stuck. Well, that happened on the left shifter there. So I had a Guide master cylinder in the garage, threw that on there real quick just so that I could get out and ride. Yesterday was the first ride on some single track. What's that? Yeah. Oh yeah, this bike, that long front end, yeah. I ain't had to blink. I will say I really liked it. So, but I'll save that video for another time. So first thoughts on it, just as far as the build, how it's riding and everything, really like it. A lot of fun. The rear end is very tight, that chainstay right at 17 inches. And the front end, this is an extra large, and yeah, I've ridden larges and extra larges, really depends on the model. With this bike, it's kind of crazy looking, especially with my setup, because my saddle is so high on there. But actually the seat tube length on this bike is like a large, but the top tube is longer than most extra larges. So I will say that this bike actually feels like it fits me properly. And the reason why that is you can see I ride with my saddle really far forward. I like to be over my pedals, and with that I like my front wheel to be further out in front of me. So that's really what I love about this bike. So if you're that type of rider where you want to be up over the top of your pedals and you want to have a lot of wheel in front of you, or your front center is a little longer, you'll love this bike. So that's the one thing I really like about it. Now, as far as the way it looks with that saddle, I don't really like the look, but the function is perfect because the top tube is so low. The standover is awesome. So, you know, getting off the bike or anything like that, you don't have to worry about, you know, hurting yourself. But yeah, great bike so far. This one's built up around 23 and a half pounds, I believe is what it was. when I weighed it. That's you know, with a pretty conservative build compared to, you know, getting crazy with some EVOL XX1 or anything like that. The bottle cage situation, it does have two bottle cage. You know, one of them's on the down tube, so if you do run that, you probably would want to have some kind of cover or something over your bottle down there, because obviously it's going to get some dirt and everything on it. One thing I'm going to do too is probably here at the bottle cage, I'm probably going to get a setup where I can move this bottle forward up and then have it where I can actually have like a storage box right here for my tools and maybe an extra tube if I'm doing longer rides. And there's several companies who make those. Wolf Tooth has them, Line Components has them as well. So probably do that, shift this up. The reason why I want to do that also is because it's easier to reach my bottle. Now, like I said, this is the extra large, really larger than most companies' extra larges. And you can fit the bottle. I almost wish they would do like the bottle option to make the bottle fit up here instead of right in here, because the smaller models, actually it's harder to get the bottle out of there. You want a side load cage. This one I can get it out because there's so much room right here, but if you do the smaller size, you want to use a side load right there. And I have it set up with, you know, obviously some cross-country tires here, some Thunderbird in the rear and a rocket rod in the front. It was pretty simple as far as the build goes. Nothing major, you know, nothing really hard to do. Cable routing was pretty straightforward. Inside of these little grommets here, you do have some room with like a pick to be able to get to the cable housing to pull it through. That's one thing one negative thing I would say about the bike is I don't like the cable routing going down the down tube and then back up here to the seat stays. I really wish that this could, you know, somehow go down here or something to kind of get out of the way. It doesn't look as clean, but that's a small gripe, more cosmetic than anything. So I'm really looking forward to do a long-term review of this. Like I said, I'm going to get a 34 fork, throw it on there. Would like to set it up as kind of a trail bike, try it that way, and then also use it like this as a cross-country / gravel long distance bike as well. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so you can get updates on this project and many more that I'm working on. And I appreciate you watching.